Yo, what is good, everybody? It is your boy, Golden Falls, the Golden Emperor, really whatever y'all want to call me. And I'm back. I'm back with part 2 of What If Vegeta Wished for Godly Potential. I wanted to say this really fast before we start the video. This series is probably going to be about 4 parts. I'm pretty sure all of you know why. I mean, when you look at the series and you look at what type of series it could be, it most likely would only be about 4 parts long. But still, I hope y'all enjoy it. I've been having fun actually doing it. I haven't had too much time recently to work on it, so currently working on this at like 1 a.m. So we'll see how that goes. With that said, though, I'm not going to waste that much more time, and let's get into where we left off, and that's right before the 3 years of training begins. So let's get into it. Let's get it. The 3 years of training before the androids finally begins. Vegeta, at this point, has perfected Super Saiyan God. Of course, him being extremely powerful at this point, he not only outweighs everybody else by a long shot. And when I mean long shots, I mean an absolute long shot. He, at this point, would have God Ki. I mean, that's why he has Super Saiyan God. Of course, they don't know what that actually is, or they don't know what God Ki necessarily is at this point in time. And Goku does have some information about how Vegeta got so strong. Even with that said, though, Goku throughout this time has pushed himself to even new heights to be even stronger because of Vegeta's insane potential. And actually, the heart virus would show up a little bit sooner rather than later. Maybe a couple days, maybe a week before the first androids would show up. With that said, though, it doesn't really matter. When androids 19 and 20 show up, Goku might not be in full health to even be there, because obviously the heart virus, but without Vegeta's DNA at the point of time that he came initially, the androids will stand absolutely no chance at all. Gotta keep in mind that they got Vegeta's DNA during a point of time that he didn't have this insane potential. But even if they, let's say hypothetically, did get the potential of Vegeta, it doesn't mean that it would do much. This is just potential. Just having potential alone doesn't mean you'll be able to soar to new heights by not doing anything at all. We've seen that when Vegeta started training like crazy, that's when he started seeing the growth that his potential or godly potential was truly going to show. Of course, androids 19 and 20 would be put down. They would be taken down by Vegeta, and Vegeta would be extremely disappointed at the fact that this whole future time traveler, who is actually his son, who also didn't inherit his insane potential, but obviously during this time he doesn't realize that it's a whole different timeline and all those shenanigans, but still, he didn't inherit his own potential, so he's kind of disappointed in general, learning of, for one, Trunks didn't actually understand what was going to happen, being that 19 and 20 showed up. Killing them was easy, but Vegeta was still annoyed. On top of that, the fact that he learns that this kid is also his future son that doesn't have his insane potential disappoints him drastically. But even knowing that there is other androids or androids that aren't the same or the same looking androids as Trunks had, maybe there isn't any others? They're not so sure, but honestly, Vegeta and many others highly doubt that those are the only androids, when this guy literally said that those were not the androids that looked, or they looked extremely different. So everyone would eventually meet up with Kakarot or Goku, especially after he completely recovered from the heart virus. They would all gather together thinking about what their next move would be, because where is androids 17 and 18? Since they killed Jiro before they could even figure out where his lab was, 17 and 18 would not be awakened at all, but another being would be lurking within the shadows. After the display of power by Vegeta, though, the others are extremely concerned, especially about what is next. But Vegeta makes it clear that they're not even worth killing at this point, and that Kakarot would never catch up to him, so as long as they don't get on his nerves, they'll remain beneath him. And maybe there's a little piece of, well, hiding behind Vegeta's mindset that he does care about Bulma, he does care about Trunks, and this is his family. The only lineage he has left, especially with literally everyone else dead. So he doesn't necessarily just want to obliterate them, kill them, and wipe them off the face of the planet. He doesn't find any reason to even do that. With this overwhelming strength, Vegeta just wants a challenge, a fight. That's what he wants. And just as he begins to think this, and just as he even begins to say this to these people, or the Z Fighters, a giant power would spike in the distance. It would go up by a large increment initially, and then skyrocket again another increment, as if it just powered up twice back to back. They all head over to see where this large power spike even came from, and this power has come from a bio-android by the name of Cell. Cell is now perfect. The Z Fighters arrive at the scene and Vegeta is right next to them as well, and Cell speaks, telling them all that they can now walk to their deaths. He is the combined version of all of them, strength incarnated. He is perfection. Vegeta looks at him and shakes his head and mocks Cell, saying that he's not perfection, he's not even close, because he's tainted by all of the other fighters within him, including that horrible bastard Frieza. And Vegeta mocks Cell. As he walks toward him, Cell tries to throw a punch at Vegeta, but Vegeta just dodges casually without any thought in mind at all, landing a couple punches while in his base form against Perfect Cell, making him look like an absolute joke. These years of training have made Vegeta practically unstoppable, on a level that none of these battles, at least at this point in time, would even touch him. Cell is shocked, terrified. What is he supposed to do? How did he get this strong? There must be some way for him to get stronger. But Vegeta says that there's a difference between, well, them two. Cell is a combination of everyone else, and all of that is weighing him down. Vegeta has potential of the gods, but Cell, even if he did inherit that, it won't matter when you have people like Kakarot, Piccolo, Frieza, King Cold, all of them weighing down on, well, the Prince of all Saiyans himself. Cell is terrified at this point. What kind of power does Vegeta even have or isn't showing? And Vegeta smirks and tells Cell that he'll show him, activating Super Saiyan God, and the aura itself makes Cell collapse to the ground in complete shock. He doesn't know what's going on. How is this even possible? Vegeta says that he's not even worth the time of day. He walks over to Cell and begins to casually power down from Super Saiyan God and shoot a Big Bang attack right at him, obliterating him entirely, as Vegeta looks toward everyone else and tells them that it's not really worth it. It's not worth it for him to even hang around and see other things happen. He's gonna head off. Maybe he'll take a ship, train out in space, and see if he can find someone that is actually worth his time to fight against. Vegeta heads back to Capsule Corp, hops in a ship, and soon after, he would leave. The protest of Bulma wouldn't stop him, even though he has a kid literally, well, there to take care of. Vegeta does not care very much at all, telling her that he might come visit, but he needs to find someone truly worthy of fighting him. But when he heads off, he begins to sense something back on Earth. A power spike once again. Cell has somehow regenerated from the blast that Vegeta shot him with. But the difference is, Cell might have gained a really good amount of power, but nothing even remotely close to close the gap. Cell knows this, and everyone else does as well, but let's be honest, everyone else there would stand no chance against Cell at this moment. Cell is frustrated. He wants to kill Vegeta, but he also wants a fight that he can bear himself. Maybe he can get stronger that way. He announces the Cell games to everyone there, and everything would go very, very similar. The only difference here is Trunks would most likely go into the chamber with Piccolo, being that he doesn't have anybody else to go with. But after all that training and all of that work, even Goku being slightly stronger than normal, Cell would have the one-up on all of them, forcing Gohan to try and push his limits. But there's a problem, a massive problem. Vegeta has shown Cell that perfection doesn't stop where he is right now. He thought it did, he really did, but it doesn't. Cell is missing something. He's missing power, missing strength. He might have the DNA of all of these fighters within him, but what if he absorbed every last one of them? During the Cell games, Goku would obviously forfeit. Just like normal, Gohan would go in and push himself to Super Saiyan 2. This moment would tell Cell that it's time for a power-up. He would then capitalize on his extra strength being Super Perfect Cell, and he would get his chance to poke, well, his tail into Gohan's side, sapping a slight bit of energy that gives him the upper hand, getting him the chance to absorb Gohan entirely, and his strength would skyrocket. At this point, there's nobody on Earth that could stop him. Immediately, Cell absorbs Piccolo, absorbs Goku, absorbs the humans, Trunks, and then everybody else he possibly can. During this time, Cell would have so much strength that he would go around absorbing every last person on the planet, until the planet itself was non-existent. There was nothing there at all. Cell would now feel as if he might have a chance. He might be able to defeat Vegeta. He would fly up into the sky, looking at the planet below, as he begins to shoot a blast toward the planet. But the blast would dissipate, disappear. It's been weeks, well, about a week since he's seen Vegeta last. What was that? There's nobody other than Vegeta that can stop that blast. Vegeta is currently there, and beside him, or at least below him, is his young son and Bulma, his wife. He tells Cell that killing everybody else was fine, but if he killed the young boy, especially with the potential of himself, that would have truly been a problem. He tells Cell that no matter how strong he gets, he still is only partial him. After a week of being out in space, Vegeta had time away, had time to think, and as he activates his Super Saiyan God form, he charges at Cell, striking him over and over again, but it seems as if Cell is able to take the beating far better and even counterpunch sometimes. Cell knows that this is the peak of Vegeta's power. He just needs to somehow live and overcome it. But Vegeta smirks and tells him that he knows what he's thinking. But there is no overcoming the power that he has. There is no overcoming what the true Saiyan Prince's power is at this moment. Vegeta backs up with a large smirk. He begins to transform once again, changing into his Super Saiyan Blue form. Cell is terrified, but in a matter of seconds, obliterated into ashes. With Earth entirely vacant, with Goku, Piccolo, Gohan, and many others dead, Vegeta and his family would set off for now. And of course, he would oblige with Bulma's request of eventually reviving everybody back to Earth, but for now, they would set off on a bit of a journey to find new fighters, people to take down, and people to exterminate, kill, and train against. Where would Vegeta go? Is there only one person that can truly challenge him and bring him to new heights? Is that person waking up sooner than actually later than normal? Well, you'll have to find out on the next part of What If Vegeta Wished for Godly Potential. And if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a sub, and make sure to leave a comment down below. All that good stuff, and I hope all of y'all have an amazing day. Later.